Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video is a continuation of yesterday's video, and today's video is going to explain when I finally kicked myself into reality and took that leap and applied for my current university and how I got my current place at my university. So once I had announced that I was leaving the care home, I started jumping online, doing my research and looking at all the information about this new university I was going to apply for. I looked at what type of intakes they did. Luckily this university did September and January. As I was kind of late for a September place, I started to apply in regard to a January intake, which was quite different for me because the first time I'd went it was September, so it was nice to see the different times and what happens at the different when you start at different times in the year. So I did my application. I didn't bother doing UCAS this time because I knew that there was only one university I was going to go to, and I didn't see the point in doing the personal statement and applying to 4 when I already knew that I wanted to go to this particular one. So what I did is I called them up and asked them if they did an internal application, which they did, and which enabled me to just be able to do an application form directed to that university rather than me have to send out 4. So that's what I did. It asked the generic questions like your name, address, date of birth, and asked questions such as why do you want to study here, why do you want to be a nurse, what experiences have you had before, and obviously what qualifications do you hold. I managed to complete that, and references, sorry. I managed to complete this application form and then I sent it back. And within like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I got correspondence to say that my application had been accepted and they wanted to offer me an interview and assessment day. So I turned up to the interview and assessment day, and I remember us all having to bring our certificates and ID, and then that was checked by a member of staff, and then we all started talking and getting to know each other. There was like a second year and there was a third year in there that was there to answer any questions that we might have at the time. We was then taken through and we did an English and a maths test, and they were done online. And then after that we was then brought back into the room that we started in, and then we was called in for interviews and interviewed by 2 people. In the interview they asked the same questions as the application form but also others. So they asked questions like, why do you want to be a nurse, what qualities do you think you have that make you suitable to be a nurse, and what experiences have you had, and they were talking about 6 C's and what do you think is important in nursing, and just loads of other questions. I am going to do a video on that in regard to a nursing interview, but they were asking all them types of questions, and then we had left. So about, I'd say, another week and a half after the interview and assessment day, we then got correspondence again and I got a confirmed place. I was quite shocked. I don't know why, but I was really shocked. I was shocked at the fact that it was coming true again. I was accepted. I think I had doubts in the fact that maybe they think that I'm not committed because I'd already studied before and stuff, but I was really shocked to receive and they'd offered me a place. My heart was literally beating. It could, if it beated anymore, it literally would have jumped out my chest. But just the excitement that I was back on track and I was finally going to be where I wanted to be was such a great feeling in itself. So I'd let everybody know and everyone was really happy for me. And I think the next things that were in order to do was preparation. So as you just saw in my previous videos where I was literally buying the whole of IKEA, it wasn't that extreme this time. I knew I needed to prepare, but I didn't need to get as much. So I just got basic things such as stationery that I'm going to need. I got a few notebooks, obviously for different modules. I got pens and all the kind of stationery equipment that I would need. I also started looking at books that could be useful, because I already had a few books from before, but other books that I probably didn't get to buy. I started looking at my anatomy and physiology, as I knew that that is always incorporated in every nursing course, and started to scrub up on that. I started to read over my old notes as well, to kind of trigger my memory, as I knew that they would be beneficial at some point. I started looking at my NMC code and what else did I do? I looked at a variety of things, and I started to plan out what I was going to do, and yeah, just refresh my mind. So I waited again, and they said I'd need to come to the university to come and do another identity check and to get my uniform sizes and stuff. So I had been given a time slot and a day, and I then visited the university where my uniform sizes were taken, and they also did a placement form. And on this placement form, it literally asked, is there any wards that in the trust where you've either been a patient or worked? If yes, then please write them below. And I think they do this for when they're allocating you placements when you're on the course. They try not to send you somewhere where you've either been a patient or you have worked before, to trying to give you that extended scope of practice and give you more opportunities and placements. So all the paperwork was done, and I was finally enrolled, and student finance was able to release my student finance, and I was just waiting for the enrolment week. Because my paperwork took a bit longer, I didn't get to go for the enrolment week because I was still being cleared, but I started the first official teaching week. So my next video is going to be on my first few weeks at university. How did I feel? The information that was given and the module launches. This is another short one today. I'm trying to keep them short, sweet and simple, because these kind of parts of the journey you can't really gabble on about. It is what it was. It was short, swift, sweet. So when we get into more in-depth things, there will be longer videos. But thank you to everyone that's been watching so far. Please comment, like and subscribe, and share if you care. Thank you all. Stay safe and take care. Goodbye.